Okay, today my guests are Kurt and Becky Gilbert. How are you guys?
Doing
Very
well,
good.
doing well. Enjoying the quarantine.
Yeah? Well, how
Yeah.
has your life been affected by it?
Mine personally has not been really affected much by it. I go to work every day still, so getting up and going to work. My work is basically 8 and done now. There's no overtime, so that kind of hurts a little bit. But other than that, I'm still getting a paycheck every week, so that's been good.
The roads are less busy.
Oh my gosh, yes, it's great with that in that respects. We're getting more done in an 8 hour time than we usually get done in like a 10 or 12 hour day. So just because there's no traffic, people stay off the roads. That's great. I love
I mean, I don't know if we should be telling people to keep staying in, but hey,
it.
staying in,
It helps me out.
there you go.
Yeah.
So, and how about like going to the store with the masks and everything like that? I mean, that's a little much. But
So we really don't go very much because we're trying to just not go out very much. So we go once a week. I go to the food store, and that's about it. Everything else is curbside or the such.
yeah, yeah.
We do the necessities. We do the pet food and, you know,
That's about it. Or
yeah.
otherwise, it's curbside.
Yeah.
But
So, how did you guys meet? How did you guys first get together?
she's better at that story.
Okay, well then let's not hear from you.
Quite a bit about this, you know.
Well, we met when he first came to church. We met through Haddon Heights Baptist Church in Haddon Heights, and so we've known each other all through, I guess, really elementary school, high school. Like he came when he was 3 years old. So, but our moms have been friends for 45 years. So um, we we started our first date was in 1993. We went to a wedding together. So it's been a long time on and off together, and then we got married in 2002. So
A wedding is a first date. That's unusual. I
I was desperate for a date at that time,
Okay, that's fair.
you know.
apprentices actually from the,
Yeah,
the former phys ed teachers at
yeah,
Yeah.
Baptist. Yeah,
yeah.
As you can see from behind us, that's when we got married.
yeah.
That's our little thing back here. So
Nice. So with so knowing each other all your life, that's pretty cool. I like that. So now your dad was the principal while you were there. For how long?
for my dad was a principal for my whole time in high school. So he was yeah, for the whole time I was in high school, he was the principal. So he was never, what do you say, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was the principal the whole time. So he did work his way up, though. I mean, he started off as a regular math teacher and then worked up to a vice principal position and then moved into the principal job. And he was there for like 20, 28, 26 years, something like that. So he was there for quite a bit, a long time there, and dealt with a lot of people like me and you.
Yeah. Hey, my senior year was after he retired. After my senior year,
Yeah, I guess he had enough of it after that,
he just couldn't take it anymore.
huh?
So
No.
you were a pretty mischievous kid, though, weren't you?
Was
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I had my issues, but
Yeah.
everybody did. It wasn't anything
Not everybody
destructive.
did.
Wasn't a destructive kind of mischievous, but everybody had their growing pains.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Um, I tried to get some good dirt stories on you, and we were just gonna make up something like, "Hey, how about that time in the cafeteria?" Just saying if you went with it, but you know,
Yeah, well, that wasn't just me. That was a school, a whole school lunchroom time there. I mean, we had a big food fight back in the day, which I'm sure everybody has had heard about at one point. The big food fight at Baptist.
and,
I don't
and,
know. Have you heard the stories about that?
well, let's hear the story.
Well, it all started with basically someone throwing ice, I think, because we had an ice machine in there at the time. And then people started looking around, and there was no teachers in the room. And that just, light bulbs went on people's heads, and next thing you know, tables were getting flipped on its side, and food was flying everywhere, and the lights went out, and it was a big ordeal. And somebody actually from my class actually went and turned the circuit breakers off to the lunchroom, and what they didn't realize when they turned off the circuit breakers to the lunchroom, it actually turned off the computers in the church office. So that didn't go over very well.
So,
But,
so
yeah.
that wasn't you, though. You didn't start it or
I was
anything.
involved. I was involved in that, but I did not orchestrate it. No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Just an active participant,
I was
not
an
the
active-
originator.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you couldn't find much dirt on her though, because she was a goody two shoes in school. So
Were you? You were a goody two shoes?
I was, yeah. I didn't really do too many shenanigans. I do it. I do shenanigans now that I'm an adult. I didn't do it back then when I was a kid.
Like, what kind of shenanigans do you get involved in now?
Well, I find that at my school, I just play a lot of tricks with my own students, that kind of thing. And sometimes I have to remember to not tell them too many things, because then I'm like, oh, wait, they might actually do it themselves, kind of thing. I have to stop myself. My shenanigans were pretty tame. I went to a public school in town, actually where I teach now, and there was a little corner store, and it was about a block away. And when I was going to school, you could go home for lunch, or you had to stay at school for lunch. You could do one or the other. But if you were staying at school, you had to stay. You didn't have free reign to leave. And so we would sneak off the playground and just go to that little corner store, and then we would just eat lemon heads. Like, that was that's the biggest shenanigan we had, was I snuck off the playground and bought lemon heads. But I would forget and tell the students that. I'm like, oh goodness, I probably shouldn't be telling them how we snuck off the playground. That's
not great.
That's frowned upon. So
Yeah, I'm sure. So the other, I also, there was an awards night a couple years ago, and you were known as Cliff. Is that?
Yeah.
Chase's graduation last year, his little 8th grade moving up ceremony, Cliff Gilbert was kind enough to be asked to close it out in prayer. So,
and it was actually in the program as Cliff.
It actually was in the program, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was even funnier, was like the audience sort of got that it was wrong, and they were all sort of snickering, and they still didn't know it was wrong when they went to introduce him. Like, they still didn't know.
Like, the administrator actually said, hey, Cliff Gilbert. Like, everybody just started laughing.
The audience is all snickering. And
everybody knows that. She's like, what, did I say something wrong? I was like, well, my name's Curtis. But, other than that, she's like, oh, my word.
That's great.
So he's been Cliff for the past year.
Yeah. Okay, Cliff. All right. Thanks.
Maybe she watches Cheers or.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do my Would You Rather in my Eagles hat. Now I see you got a Phil's hat on, which I have over there, but
I do.
You missing the Phils?
I am actually missing. No, I am missing baseball.
Yeah, me too.
I did. Yeah, my son's actually missing basketball more. I could take or leave basketball, but I enjoy watching it, but he really gets into it. Chase does, but I miss baseball. I enjoy watching baseball.
Yeah, me. Same here. All right, so we're gonna go with you, Becky, first. Here we go. Your question is: would you rather live in the city, or would you rather live in the country?
Country. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather country all the way.
With lots of animals. She would love a lot of animals.
No animals, but gardens and flowers and just quiet.
Okay. Now, do you visit Lancaster and stuff like that? And
Lancaster and Virginia is our favorite, and so just that quiet. I love Lancaster.
Okay.
She wants to move out there eventually, so it's we'll see. Maybe live in a trailer or something out there. Double wide.
Like a mobile home.
Oh, a double wide. Okay. Just making sure. I don't know. You're okay. Okay. Well, we'll We have courage for you. Here we go. That was a pretty good one for you. Would you
Yeah.
rather fight a shark or would you rather fight a bear?
Shark or a bear? Uh,
Guess it depends if it was on land.
yeah,
No. So I guess the shark would be in the water.
a shark will be in the water. Yeah. That's a fight a shark or a bear. I don't know. I guess I could. I guess a bear because I guess I could, have a chance of running faster or dodging with it in the water. I guess you're kind of limited on how fast and how quick you can maneuver in the water. So I guess a bear. I guess.
Yeah. Again, just random would you rather questions. I don't know.
It's all good.
We don't come up with it. Or we actually do come up with it. We just throw them in that. Anyway. So is there anybody that of faith, we're going to change it up, somebody of faith that inspires you yet?
Is this like a biblical character or an actual person?
You can give me both if you like, or you can, it can go whatever you feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I would probably say my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, Sandy and Brian, that they are just, a really good example of not just talking the talk, but they walk the walk, and they've not had an easy life. And so I think that that's what exemplifies it so much, is the struggles and the trials that they've been through and how they've carried themselves with such grace. It's quite an example to live up to.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a spiritual person. I guess what the person that probably would had led me to Christ in high school basically was Bob Colby. I really haven't talked to him much recently, but I mean he lives right around the corner from me, but I haven't seen him very much recently. But I know in high school, as we were discussing earlier, that you said I was a little bit of a person, mischievous person. I think he understood me a lot in high school. So if I want to go back, not necessarily present terms, but if I want to go back and say, maybe he's the one that kind of, reared me in a little bit, and that's about it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, what's something that we can pray for you guys for?
Well, I know we do. I know we have need a lot of patience. We have 3 boys in the house that are antsy right now. We actually got them out with the dog, and
I would just say Brady's probably our number one, keeping him safe he's a type 1 diabetic. And so he's at a higher risk. And so there's a lot of just unknowns. And so I think just for patience and leaning on God as to what to do with him, especially come the fall, with school and the such, and how to keep him safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
well, on top of that, she's also a teacher from home. So she's teaching from home with upstairs, and the boys are downstairs doing their learning from home. So I'm sure it gets loud down here, and she's trying to do stuff upstairs, and I'm sure it gets pretty crazy doing. I go to work, so I don't see it, and but I'm sure it gets pretty loud here.
How hard is it for you to teach from home?
It's a lot of time on my part. Like it takes time, but it's not hard. I taught older grades. I taught 5th grade for 2 years. And so this year I'm in 3rd grade, and it was new, but I taught them the way I taught my 5th graders. So my 3rd graders have been on Google Classroom since September, which is not the norm. And so, because I was just sort of like, well, this is how I teach. Let's see if they can hang. Let's see if they can do it. And they could. They latched onto it really quickly. So it hasn't been a big change for them because they were really used to the system. I think a lot of other 3rd grades, where I work, they didn't use it. So I think it was a little bit a bigger challenge because they had to learn this new system and learn content, whereas mine just are learning content. So it hasn't been bad in that aspect at all. Like, because they're just, Google Classroom is just so versatile and just really, you can really do so much with it. So I've been very fortunate that mine have been using it since September and are just kind of fluid with it.
Now, how about your boys? How are they handling school from home?
You know, Brady is a homeschool kid at heart. He's been homeschooled for a couple years. We did that earlier. I think he wishes he could be homeschooled. So he's fine with it. This is actually, he's living his best life. So Chase, I think he misses the social aspect of it.
Right.
But he's been doing fine with it at home. Logan doesn't love school to begin with, so
it's the same with my kids. You know, Violet doesn't love school. She likes the social aspect of it, and Ethan is just missing his friends, and he's doing fine. It's all good.
Oh, try that again. Sorry.
Well, my kids are basically in the same boat. So anyway, let's go with what would you like to tell the Immanuel family as we wrap on up here?
I think just that we miss seeing the people each week. I'm not gonna lie to you. It has been super nice being in a slower pace and being at home and having our kids home and not having activities and not having commitments. And it's been nice to be able to go to church on Sundays and just kind of be home. Like, it hasn't been all negative for me. I know we aren't the same as everybody else. And so I know that some people are struggling with being home and being lonely and not having people. And but for us, it has been really kind of a blessing. And so I am looking forward to seeing the people again and just kind of getting back together and, you know, kind of having a service back at the church. But we've also, it's not really been all bad. It's been kind of nice to just be home with our family and just kind of slow down, hear God's message that the world's moving too fast.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, that's almost how I am too. I'm good being in quarantine.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm all right.
I can watch TV. I can watch my movies.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice and quiet. And anything you want to say to the church family, or she wrap it up pretty good?
She pretty much wrapped it up. What our feelings were, basically. You know, like, we're enjoying. It would be nice. I said, like she said, it'd be nice to get acquainted with everybody again. And I said, actually, the nice thing you're doing here with this is I've still, like, we've only been there how many years
Maybe
now?
2 years.
Only about two. We've only about two years now, and we're still learning people's names and faces and stuff like that. And with this thing that you're doing, it's like I see people, but then I see their spouse, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that they were together. Okay, you know, so it's kind of like I'm learning faces, like you know, in that respect. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been going there for 19 years, and I'm doing the same thing. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hey, that person.
Yeah. Oh, you're married to him. Okay.
Oh, I had no idea. I was going to interview you guys separately. So, well, it was good talking to you guys. Stay safe.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you. Bye.
Take